Well, hey everyone, how we doing out there today? This is the Flip Flop Investor Show, and I am your host, Todd Bayer, the Flip Flop Investor himself. You know, every week what we do here, we get together and we talk about real estate investing, that thing that everybody wants to be a part of, it seems, these days. So what I like to do is we bring on a local expert or another fellow investor and talk about real estate investing. So this week, we brought back one of our favorite guests, one of our regular guests, Mr. Tyler Hungerford. How you doing today, Tyler?
Oh, I'm doing great. Thank you so much for the opportunity to come hang out with you again. You know,
Absolutely.
I love it.
Yeah, and that's really all we're doing. We're just hanging out.
Yeah.
You know, like we just happen to be talking into a microphone,
Yeah.
you know, to a bunch of people listening live.
It's funny because you and I, we go off on, and we literally talk about the same stuff we talk on here for hours.
Yeah.
I mean, like, there are times where we're sitting there and we're just, I don't know, 3 or 4 hours go by and we're like, I'm hungry. You hungry? Let's go eat. And then we keep talking.
Yeah. And, hey, that's what this business is about.
Absolutely.
It's, it's about having a community and getting to know people that you like and spending time with. So that's, that's really what it is, just a real estate investor community.
Heck yeah.
And that's what we've built, we've built the Inland Empire Real Estate Investment Club, which is the largest investment club in Southern California by attendance. By attendance.
Okay.
We don't have the most members. We're the second highest by membership.
That's amazing, especially after, 3 years?
4 years. Yeah, 4 years. We passed, groups that have been around for over 10 years now.
Wow.
So we've definitely built a solid community, and I don't want to brag, but I think it's because we do things a little differently, and we really do focus on the new person, the new investor, all the experienced people that come every single month to the group, to the club meetings. They're there to help the new people, and that's what's been really helpful.
Well, and I think it's mostly because everybody understands how difficult this business really is, and the pitfalls that a new person can fall into, especially if they're working with some bad people. So,
sure. Anybody, even when I did my first deal, I needed somebody looking over my shoulder,
right,
to make me feel, number one, that I'm not crazy, and also to help prevent me from doing something stupid.
Yep, like hiring the wrong contractor.
Yeah, well, I've done that many times, so I guess I'm still kind of stupid in that regard. But if there are any great contractors out there, let me know. I'd love to hear from you.
Yeah.
That's a lament that is shared across.
100%.
Yeah, it's a common thing. You hear people say that contractors are unreliable and they're what would you say? Maybe they're all over the place with their pricing sometimes.
100%. Yeah, no consistency there.
Consistency.
That's super important.
That's the word I was looking for. For those of you that missed it, last night we had the big Inland Empire Real Estate Investment Club meeting at the Mission Inn in Riverside. We had a really good attendance last night. We really did. Good attendance, a lot of good people. A lot of good content. We had a lot of great stuff that we went over last night. And, we were excited. So, I was told that I need to mention this a few times during the show because some people don't tune in the beginning and don't, they're not listening all the way through to the end.
Okay.
So I've only mentioned this traditionally. I've mentioned it only at the end. Now I'm going to start mentioning it maybe 4 times during the show.
Take like a commercial break or something.
Yeah, and I'd like to thank Ron for giving me that suggestion last night.
Thanks, Ron.
And hopefully next week, Ron, you're going to be on the show.
There you go.
Let me know.
I'll be listening.
Everybody wants to hear. I've already told a bunch of people.
No, we really do.
And everybody wants to hear Ron and his story in the real estate world because it's an interesting one.
Yeah, I've never really heard it all the way through. I've heard snippets of it.
Yeah. And so we're going to,
I'm really interested. I actually really would like to know, too.
Oh, it comes. But you know what? This week we're here to talk about Tyler Hungerford and what he does in this business because Tyler's he embodies the rich dad, poor dad spirit of working to learn, where you can, Robert Kiyosaki, he's the guy who wrote Rich Dad, Poor Dad. What he said was, if you're going to work to learn. So work in an industry that you want to be a part of. And so you're working as a property manager, for Formatic Property Solutions.
Management.
Property management, Formatic Property Management. I'll get it right. Sorry, Matt. So, and by the way, Matt's the owner of the company.
Yeah.
I wasn't forgetting your name.
Yeah,
I would never
Tyler.
forget
I
that.
know.
What's your name again? No. But yes, you're doing actually a pretty big role over there at Formatic.
So at this point, I'm running. For now, I'm running business development and investment advisory. So I'm helping people find product, acquire that product, and make sure that it's running smoothly.
And it's a very big role because without people with rental property, there's no use for you.
There's no use for me. Absolutely.
So the Formatic basically manages all kinds of different property types.
All kinds of different property types. So we've had apartments, we've had multis, like small multis, which is duplex, triplex, and quads. We got a lot of single families at the moment. We've got 6 properties that we're trying to help our owners sell.
Oh, wow.
With another 2 coming up in the next month or 2. So there's a lot of just, even in that role itself, there's a lot going on there.
Now, these sellers that are selling these 6 properties, are they willing to carry financing?
So I've chatted with them about that, and no, a lot of times they're just looking to just get out of the deal.
Oh,
and,
man.
And I know. Yeah, so that's one of the first questions I ask actually whenever I'm talking to them. Like,
Smart.
okay, well, are you looking to get out of this quickly? Do you want to pay capital gains? There's an opportunity here to make money over the long term. Would you do seller financing or something of that effect that you can make sure that you're paying less in taxes for our capital gains, and allow you to still make rental income basically every single month for the rest of your life.
But be the lender rather than the...
Yeah, exactly. Be the lender on this.
Yeah. Don't deal with your toilets and tenants anymore.
Exactly.
Let me deal with those problems.
Yeah, I'll deal with them.
I like
I'll
those
make that
problems.
happen. Yeah, so they're not really that interested in so far. They haven't been interested in that.
Okay.
So far, a lot of the properties have been up in Big Bear, so they're kind of an older crowd that owns a lot of these properties, and they're just ready to let them go and move on. And we've got quite a few that are 80 plus that are just ready to step away from the investing and just enjoy the rest of their lives. So, but for the most part, I'm just doing asset management and making sure that people have a really set understanding of what their goals are for the future and how I can help them reach those goals with investing in real estate. So
Sweet.
one of the reasons why I got involved in this, especially in investing in buy and holds, is because I want to do that myself.
Of course.
So you're right. I do work to learn. I've done that at every point in my career to provide a really well-rounded individual, and I think I'm pretty darn well-rounded at this point.
Pretty good, yeah. You're getting there.
I'm getting there.
A couple rough edges, but we can
definitely
smooth those out.
Yeah. Well, we're working on it. We're working on it, and that's why I'm doing what I'm doing. So,
well, it's important, and something that you do that a lot of people that are successful in this business is you're a student of the
100%.
business. At no point are you going to tell anybody I'm an expert.
Yeah.
I have a hard time telling people I'm an expert. People come looking at me and they tell me like, but you're the expert in this. I'm like, yeah, but there's people that know a lot more about this business than I do. I know that there are. These are guys that have been around for 45 years, and I mean, these guys blow me away every single time I talk to them. They throw some new nugget at me, and I'm just, like, wow, that's amazing,
that. Yeah.
So, I'm still a student. I read stuff constantly. I'm constantly doing, different types of deal structures just to learn different ways of doing things. So
I think I learned a lot of that from you, having worked with you. You're always constantly learning and trying something new and looking at different processes and applications, just like you said. And so that was something that I really took from your mentorship and working with you. That's kind of how I've always wanted to work. And I think that's why we gelled together so well and why we continue to gel together, because we are constantly trying to learn how to do the best we can to become excellent and to really be well-rounded.
Of course.
In a lot of different areas.
Yeah.
And so that's why we gel on stuff and why we can talk for hours and hours and hours, because that's what we do.
Yeah.
This is what we enjoy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's really what it is. You have to enjoy it. And, it's not for everybody. I developed a love for real estate originally just because, my mom was an appraiser, so she'd go to all these houses, and I liked going with her just to see what other houses looked like, you know? I mean, how many homes have you really been in? And,
So true.
For the regular person, you've been in, like, the home you grew up in, your own home now.
Maybe some friends.
Some friends and family homes, but for the average person, I think they've been in less than probably 100 homes in their life.
Which is insane. I did 100 homes in a couple months last year.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, that's, for us, I've been in easily over probably 15,000 homes.
Oh, yeah.
I've been
100%.
in tons of different styles and types, and even in other states, like in Texas, they love to build everything out of brick,
See, I'm excited to see all of that. I've never really, until I've started traveling a little bit, I can start seeing, different architecture, but that's when I'm really, starting to really understand and see, like, wow, so many different ways people do stuff. It's very interesting.
It's cool to see stuff, like, in another country. Like you go to Europe or something like that, or you go to Asia.
See, I haven't done that yet.
And get to look at the different like architectural styles and things like that. Those are the things you're like, wow, okay, so this is how they accomplish it. And there's a reason why these homes have really tall roofs. It's because they're trying to keep the heat up there and not in the living space of the home. There's all these weird things that people do architecturally, and I don't know. It's interesting, but I wouldn't want to be an architect.
No, I don't think I would either. I like a set building. I actually really would like to get in development. And I know that's something that you want to do too.
Absolutely.
I think that just like putting your hands on something like that would just be super duper cool.
It's like we were today. We went to an Ontario Reign game.
Awesome.
This morning, which was a little different than their usual thing, because it was there were about 7,000 elementary age kids there, students from different schools. There were about I don't know 500 school buses or something parked in front of the place, and it was a very loud experience. Nothing's louder than a bunch of kids screaming.
Right.
Whenever they scored a goal. So I don't know how the game wound up. We ended up leaving after the second period. So
it's a preseason game.
They were playing the goals, but
ooh, that's a good game.
It was a good game. They were on their best behavior. There were a couple moments that normally would have probably resulted in a fight, and
really?
They didn't fight. I didn't see a single fight.
Oh wow, that always happens at a goals and rain game. They always fight.
They do. There's some rivalry there.
There's like 6 fights per game on average. That's insane that they didn't fight one time.
Yeah, there was a couple times where it got close, but it didn't happen. And all the kids were screaming, "Fight!" It was actually kind of funny, but So anywho, but that being said, I don't know where I was going with that, but I'm glad I said it now.
Was it about maybe the development you're working
exactly
on
right.
off of Etowanda?
Well, there was a right outside the Reign, because we go in through the back entrance off of 4th,
right,
down in Ontario, and there's these big dirt parcels, right there,
just completely available.
And these are sort of a remnant from the last economic recession that we had, where these are properties that were going to be developed into something. I don't remember exactly what the project was going to be there, but
I don't remember either.
I'm looking at, I'm like, these are prime pieces of dirt, in a great spot in Ontario.
Mm-hmm.
You're just a couple blocks down from Ontario Mills, and I'm thinking, what can we put here? And I mean, obviously, probably
what they need in that area,
or
grocery store.
They need a grocery store over there, don't they?
Badly.
That's true.
Yeah.
Well, they have the Target. Is that not a super Target?
No. They need a grocery store bad.
A grocery store.
All of those apartments right there.
That's true.
All of that residential right there, they're not being serviced by any grocery store. And I think it's 1 or 2 exits down on the freeway before you can find one.
Wow.
I used to work in that area. You can't find a grocery store near you.
Is there some weird thing going on with the city of Ontario?
I don't know.
That they maybe don't want a grocery store there?
I don't know.
Huh. I don't know. We'll have to look.
For me, it would make sense. Like a Stater Brothers would do real well there, I think.
Or maybe a Ralph's.
Or Ralph's. Ralph's. Albertsons.
Albertsons.
Something like that.
Something like, we'll have to talk to the people over at Cerberus and see if they want to invest over there.
I mean, it wouldn't be a bad idea.
Put together syndication.
I think that those parcels, there's a reason why those parcels haven't been developed, and I think there's the owner of them just wants a lot of money. So I don't know. Maybe they're just looking to wait until the next downturn and then develop on that. I really don't know.
Yeah, we never know. Maybe they never.
You never know until you do the talking.
Yeah, you got to start talking to these people, and find out who the owner is, and start offering whatever you can.
Yep.
Okay,
that's
cool.
normal.
But looking at this stuff, I'm thinking like this is the stuff that gets me excited about development.
Exactly.
I'm like, what can I put in a space like this that would be useful? A grocery store sounds like a great idea, but usually you don't have a standalone grocery store, so you're gonna need some other stuff.
Oh, infill, absolutely.
Infill things around there. Maybe I don't know, a dry cleaner. You have to, you kind of look and see what's missing from that area, and then obviously getting a tenant to move into these things is the next step. But it's all kind of fun, everything's a challenge, and it's fun to have these challenges present themselves and solve the problem that people didn't even know they existed. which
leads us to the next thing in real estate. You're a problem solver. First and foremost, you are a problem solver.
That's for any real estate investor.
Absolutely.
That's what you start out as.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And so no matter what level you're going to, whether that's lowly flippers or going all the way up to wholesale or going down to wholesalers even, or all the way up to the guys at the top who are building skyscrapers, they are problem solvers. They make sure that they can get their stuff done. They get things done.
Yeah. and get it done on a big scale up at that level.
Absolutely.
You know, we'd love to build a skyscraper at some point.
Yeah, you and me both, my friend.
Maybe we could put together syndication, build Riverside's first skyscraper.
That's what I would like to do. That would be super cool.
Yeah, if anybody's interested in doing that,
yeah, you should let us know.
You know, we're not selling securities. Yeah, obviously, we're not broker dealers or securities guys. But you know, if something like that came along, you know,
it'd be cool to. Yeah, we could help.
We need some other people's money because that's how a lot of deals get done in this business.
Absolutely.
You know, a lot of people, you know, they don't have the money to get into this business, so you need some kind of help. I know, like, Robert Kiyosaki tells a story in his Rich Dad Poor Dad book about how he needed to borrow $2,000 from, you know, to, like, put as a down payment on this house in order to buy it and do what he needed to do on it. And he borrowed it from a friend of his, you know. Friend borrowed, I think he borrowed $2,000, paid him back, like, $2,800 or something like that within a couple weeks. You know, nice return on his investment there. You know, but that's how a lot of deals get done.
Absolutely.
You know, and a lot of people think in this business you have to have the cash. I know I thought that when I first got in.
Right.
You know, that if you can't get a mortgage on it because it's such a terrible home, it's in such bad shape, the bank's not going to lend on it. You know, you have to have cash. That's the only other option.
Absolutely.
But then I found out about hard money lenders, and then I found out about, you know, private people that want to just invest with you. They want to partner up, or they want to just lend you the money and let you do it.
Even seller financing.
Yeah, and that's
just like we talked about earlier.
Exactly. Yeah, and that's such a common thing in commercial real estate.
Yeah.
Seller financing.
It's a lot more common there than it is in residential, from what I've seen. It just makes a little bit more sense because that guy still wants a return, but maybe they can't afford to fix up their building. So it's a seller finance. Yeah, we're going to pay you over the next 30 years, and we'll have this bill go over to your family as well.
Yeah,
and so we'll buy it at this number right now. You'll get a down payment plus whatever it is left after that.
Right, and
we just continue to pay you for the next 30 years amortized over that.
Absolutely.
And do you want 3%? Do you want 6%? I'll give you 6% on your money. Absolutely.
The nice thing about seller financing is you can actually give somebody whatever they want for the property.
100%.
You know, and you know, if you understand how to use a financial calculator, you know, people can say,
"Thank you, Bill Tan." By the way,
Bill Tan.
Thank you, Bill Tan, for that.
So if somebody says, "I want $1 million for my building," and you're like, "No, it's worth $600,000." Like, they're ridiculous. I can't believe they want this much money for it, and they think you're lowballing and you're a jerk. You know, because you're giving them this low offer. You know, you can tell them, "I'll give you your $1 million, but I'm gonna have to pay you that over the next 45 years at a 3% interest rate." You know, and maybe that's how they get their $1 million price.
Right, and you know what? If they weren't renting it out before, guess what? Now they're making income every single month.
Yeah, and they don't have to worry about
rain or shine
vacancies.
They don't care about vacancies. Oh, the condition of the building doesn't matter to me.
Right. Well, it matters a little bit to a lender. You
know,
well, true. Especially a private lender. You know, like, as if the building's becoming dilapidated. Like,
that's true.
Your income might stop coming.
You make a good good thing there, but
and then you have to foreclose on a property that's going to be worth significantly less than what you gave it to them at.
so never mind. But condition of buildings, obviously, you got it.
Yeah, condition's important.
But
that being said, seller financing, valuable thing,
super duper.
And it's, you know, like, it's something that we talk about sometimes at the Inland Empire Real Estate Investment Club.
Yes, for those you should totally come out to.
Absolutely. For those of you that are just now tuning in, I just want to, you know, introduce you to the idea of the Inland Empire Real Estate Investment Club. This is a group that we put together in September 2014. Me and my partner Steven, we put together this group. We get together, we talk about real estate, and it's now the largest group in Southern California by attendance, and the second largest by membership.
It's pretty cool.
It's big, you know, because we have a lot to offer for the new real estate investors. So if you're interested in getting into the real estate investing world, come on out to the Inland Empire Real Estate Investment Club. You can find us on meetup.com. Meetup.com is a great website for people that have different types of groups, a lot of interesting things that they have on there, but real estate investing is one of those types of things, and we have a very large group out here. So we just had our big meeting last night at the Mission Inn. It's a lot of fun. We had a lot of great information there, but we won't be doing that again until the fourth Wednesday of October. So there's 5 Wednesdays in October. So
really?
I have to make the announcement. I'm going to put this out there several times because a lot of people think it's the last Wednesday of the month.
Yeah, it's definitely not. It's always the 4th.
It's always the 4th Wednesday. So next month it will not be on, and I think the 5th Wednesday. I think it's like Halloween actually this year. It could be. Let's see. Got my calendar out. It is. Halloween is the last Wednesday. So, no, we're not doing a meeting on Halloween.
Heck no.
Doing it on October 24th at the Mission Inn. So, yeah, definitely come out.
October 24th. Now, you'll find a variety of people there. You'll find people that are flippers, new bird dogs that are looking for wholesale properties. They're wholesalers themselves. I mean, you'll learn from people that do buy and hold investing, all kinds of stuff. And it's just a great resource for you to really get a solid education and a solid foundation on how to move forward in this game.
And meet the mentors. Meet the people that are going to help you
100%
in this business. Yeah.
Without someone like Todd and Steven or Jim Keller or the great people in that group, I wouldn't be anywhere in this business. They constantly mentor me. We're constantly calling each other and talking and talking about deals and opportunities and what they're up to, what I'm up to. But there's always that back and forth that you're going to be able to find from people that care about you, that want to see you be successful and want to help.
Yep.
So that's what that club is for, is to help.
That's what it's all about.
Exactly.
And we cover a range of topics. It changes from month to month. We haven't done a seller financing thing for a little while, but I think it might be time. Time to
get Bill Tan back out.
Bill Tan would be good. The thing with Bill Tan's one of these guys, and I was saying it earlier, that some of these people
really high level
who've been in the business for a long time. He's one of the people that blows me away.
Yeah.
And for the people that are new, it goes way over their heads. And that's the one thing about Bill that I'd love to see him kind of dumb it down to a more elementary level.
Yeah.
He
does in his class.
He does in his class when he teaches the financial calculator.
Which is an amazing class, by the way.
It is.
Oh, man. Everybody should go to that.
But when you're talking creative deal structuring, it's complicated. And there's a lot of reasons why somebody would want a particular structure. Like you mentioned capital gains before.
Right.
On a seller finance. Yeah, if you're going to sell an investment property, that you've owned for over a year, you're going to be subject to long-term capital gains.
Right.
Which, right now is, I think, 15% on the gain. So, if you gained, let's just say the property was purchased in the 1940s or something, and now you're selling it for $1 million, I mean, your gain's going to be significant.
It's going to be so significant.
And that's a big, big payment. So if you instead sell the property off with seller financing, that could potentially, I don't know the word to use at the moment.
Alleviate some of the strain on the tax. Obviously, you still have to pay capital gains on it, but
there's ways to structure things, and you should talk to your CPA.
Absolutely,
before
make sure you do that legally.
Yeah, do it legally and properly, because the IRS will
knock on your door.
They'll let you know if you didn't do it correctly.
Yes,
that's
they
for
will.
sure. They're good about that.
Yes, they're very good about that.
Yeah, very good accounting firm is the IRS, I've heard.
Yes.
Yeah, they seem to know what they're doing over there.
My aunt audited the auditors.
Oh, really?
On major corporations, she audited the auditors.
So, she worked for the IRS.
Yes.
And she would audit,
she would audit the people in her office, making sure that they did their stuff correctly.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
So there's probably a lot of potential for them to get bribes and things like that to overlook certain things.
Exactly. So that's why they have that structure. So they've got a couple people overseeing the overseers.
Yeah.
So
they're like, how did Janet buy a new Ferrari? I don't understand.
She's funny. Her name's Janet.
Oh, hey, whoa.
But no, she didn't buy. She never bought anything like that. But
no, she never bought it. Obviously, it was given
gift,
to her.
Right?
Yeah, it was a gift from a friend who just happens to work for Goodyear or something. Some major corporation. That'd be crazy.
That would be crazy. But no, I mean it's one thing to invest in property. It's another thing to make sure that you're doing it legally and taking care of your bills and the IRS and.
Yeah,
that gets a lot of people, especially new people, in trouble. So you've got to talk to a good CPA.
Well, and that's one thing that new people often have problems with too, is that they get into this business and they don't know all the costs associated with the deal.
Right.
They see the shows on TV and they think, it's that simple. I bought it for this. I put this much into it. I sold it for this. I made that much profit. No, you have realtor costs. You have,
escrow.
Yeah, escrow costs. You have title, insurance, property taxes. You have, a bunch of fees I'm not even thinking about, they get tacked on. Plus, the big one that most people forget about is taxes. Because if you're doing flips, these are short-term capital gains if you're doing them in less than a year. So short-term capital gains is a much higher percentage than long-term capital gains. So, there's some pretty good arguments out there against flipping. And I don't want to get into those necessarily at the moment, but there's a way to do it right. And there's a lot of people that get in, they do it wrong from the beginning. And really, the biggest mistake they make in the beginning is paying too much for the house.
Right.
Oh,
God. I've seen that all the time.
How many houses have we gone over where, the seller wants a certain price and they're just not willing to come down, but we know what price we have to buy it at.
Right.
And there's a reason we have these rules in place.
Right.
It's because if we do it for less, then we have a higher risk of loss.
Yeah, and I mean, anyone who's doing this correctly and is going to do it for long term is going to mitigate their risks as much as possible. Obviously, there's still risks and high risks, especially when it comes to a flip.
Yeah.
However, if you buy it correctly, you can make sure that that's almost nil in terms of losing that asset, like a lot of people did in 2006 and 7 and 8.
Sure. Absolutely.
So
do it right.
Do it right.
Come to the Inland Empire Real Estate Investment
Seriously.
Club. Learn from the pros.
Learn from the pros. And when is that? The fourth Wednesday?
Fourth Wednesday of every month.
Every month.
Except for December.
Okay. Oh, yeah, we do a big party in December.
We do a big party, a big holiday party in December, and it's going to be...
3 years I've gone. It's amazing.
It's getting better every single year.
Absolutely.
This year, we're hoping to get some sponsors to chip in a little bit, so we can maybe elevate it a little bit more.
Okay. A little classy.
Well, yeah, it would be... Sure, classy.
Like a classy
we'll say it's classy. Yeah. We'll call it classy.
It was an open bar last year.
Yeah, there was an open bar.
It wasn't the classiest of events, but it was a lot of fun.
It was a lot of fun. It had a lot of great people there, and a lot of people I didn't expect to actually show up in pajamas showed up in pajamas.
I know. Remember Robert Fergosa?
Robert showed up. Yeah,
him and his wife. That was hilarious.
It was great. I was surprised. Because the prior year we had done an ugly sweater. Thing,
and like 3 people showed up with ugly sweaters.
Yeah.
And I think the 3 of them were you, Matt, and Steven.
Right. Yeah. There was a few other attendees that showed up in the ugly sweaters.
But it was very few.
It was definitely a much bigger thing. This year the theme is going to be come as your favorite holiday movie character.
Do you have an idea of what you're going to do?
I'm thinking I might be Cousin Eddie from Christmas Vacation.
Yes.
Yeah, the scene where he's wearing the the leisure suit sort of pants and the turtleneck dicky thing that he's got there. With
nice.
And have the little reindeer mug for the eggnog.
I love it. I love it. I actually have that little mug.
You do?
Yeah, I'll let you borrow it.
Nice. Thank you.
Yeah.
Wow. Because I didn't know where I was going to get that.
Yeah.
But I figured it had to be part of the costume.
I think I've still got one. Yeah, it's up in my closet. Yeah, I know exactly where it's at. I'll let you borrow that.
Well, I'll wash it first.
Well, yeah. Well, it's like it's kind of a small little mug, so you could do shots out of it like all night.
And you know how much I love doing shots.
Well, you could have your Tito's and ice.
I got some Tito's and ice.
You could have some Tito's and ice in there.
Yeah.
Anyway, we digressed. So the next meeting is October 24th, right?
Well, actually, the next one is going to be the first Wednesday of the month because we do 3 different things. every month.
That's right. Yeah, talk to me. What are the 3 different things that you do?
We do the cash flow game. That's that's that board game created by Robert Kiyosaki.
Oh, there you go. I love that game.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. We do that in Highland at the
Round Table right?
Clubhouse that's over there off of
Caesar does a good
streets.
job there.
Yeah, Caesar, one of our fellow members, he actually hosts that. Caesar Roldan, and he's we do that up there at the Roundtable Clubhouse. That's going to be on October 3rd. It's always the first Wednesday of the month. So October 3rd at 6 o'clock is when the game gets started. So what you learn there is a lot of creative deal structuring. Some of our more experienced creative deal guys are there at that meeting too.
Really?
To usually help out. Like Andy's usually there. Matt usually goes. And so they have a lot of fun. It's actually a lot of fun. You get some pizza, you get some soft drinks and so forth. So come on out. It's $10. It's $10 for that, just because we got to pay for the food somehow. So or if you're a member, if you're a monthly member, you get in. It's included in your monthly dues. Okay.
I just became a member. That was very exciting.
You did, yeah. I saw that, and didn't take advantage of the coupon code, but hey, that's fine.
Because I didn't go to the event the month before. So I didn't want to. I mean, I could have taken advantage of the coupon code, but I didn't.
Well, we appreciate it.
Well, yeah, it's $38. It's okay.
It wasn't that much. Yeah, we try to keep the cost low.
Yeah, it's $19 a month, and so you pay 2 months ahead. It's basically like you're renting first and last.
Yep, first and last.
Yeah,
because if your payment doesn't go through, we can say this is your last month unless you make yourself current. Yep.
Yeah,
just ourselves protecting our because we got to be able to pay for this stuff.
100%. It's not cheap.
It's not cheap. It's not free. The next thing we do is always this. We do Saturday morning coffee. That's the. It's always the Saturday before the big monthly meeting. So the next one we're going to be doing for that will be on October 20th. So that'll be at Arcade Coffee Roasters in downtown River. Well, it's not downtown, but it's
off Chicago.
Off Chicago. It's more like the university area.
University corridor, University in Chicago. It's literally right there.
Yep.
Great coffee. Probably
Arcade
some
coffee.
of the best in Riverside.
It's pretty good. We like it. And so that's also $10, but you get coffee with it and you get a pastry.
Oh, you get a pastry now too?
Get a pastry.
Oh, that's sweet.
We had some good pastries this last time too.
They do. Their food there is phenomenal.
It's actually, it's surprising for a coffee shop how good their food is.
Absolutely.
Yeah, they had these breakfast burritos.
Oh,
man.
my God.
Yeah, we're not the only ones talking about their breakfast burritos.
Oh, man. And then the other one is the fourth Wednesday, and if you become a member, you get to go early. I got to experience that this last month.
Yeah, so we now have a 1 hour before the event from 5 to 6.
That was great.
Yeah, we have the pre-meeting sort of networking hour where there was an open bar for the hour, and that
was great.
It was great. A lot of people enjoyed it, and hopefully more people come next month because
I think they will.
Well, we just started the membership thing.
Yeah,
and
just last month, right?
Yep, last month is when we actually started membership, like a paid membership. Membership is always free. You can always be a member on meetup.com for free. It doesn't cost you anything. But if you want to be a member of the club, it means that you expect to come to multiple meetings and
every month.
It's every month, and the main meeting's $30 to get in if you're not a member.
Automatically saving
$11.
Yeah, you're automatically saving $11 every single month.
Exactly.
And I'm always at the main meeting, and I always go to coffee, so it's like, that's $40 right there.
You're saving.
I'm going to save $21.
Exactly.
Per month. Yeah.
It makes complete sense. And a lot of people are like, well, how are you guys able to pay for the events? Charging less, and the answer is that it's like a gym membership. People aren't always going to go, so we can always at some point, if we're getting out of control, there's only so many people the Mission Inn can handle. There's only so many people that the Round Table Pizza can handle. I mean, at some point, if we have to start restricting like to a certain number of RSVPs, then we'll get to that point. But the idea is that it's like a gym membership. Some people just won't go every single time.
Yep.
And they basically pay to keep the club going. The club was never meant to make money. It was never supposed to be like we never wanted it to be like one of these big seminar things that people go to where, they sell you all this stuff from the stage and try to get you to, buy their boot camps or mentor programs or whatever they have to sell. And there's some crazy cost. I've heard things as high as $80,000 for these things.
Which is insane.
It's very insane. I mean, that's, and they say it's like school. It's like going to college. You're going to get a degree. And, it makes sense, but I've never seen anybody come out of those things with an expert, acumen.
No, you're coming out more messed up in those situations because you think you have to do all these extra steps in the front end of finding property than you even need.
Mm-hmm.
When you guys started me out, you literally said, "Okay, these are the properties that are going to come up," and send emails to the agents and say you want to buy it.
Yeah.
And then when they respond, that's when you start analyzing.
Right.
Okay, I can do that.
Yeah. And because we've wasted a lot of time, looking at every single deal. I mean,
you can't do that.
There was a time where I had this romantic idea in my mind that I could just make an offer on every single house, and make it the actual offer, and I could send the offer to them. But man, is that time consuming? Especially if you want to make if you want to make 100 offers a week, to be able to get your one deal a week.
Yeah.
That's a lot of analyzing you have to do. Where
absolutely
instead you could find out who really has a motivated seller.
Right.
You can weed those people out quickly
very quickly.
Their agent knows. The agent's going to know if this person's going to be willing to accept an investor offer.
Yeah, the only person I know that just analyzes everything and sends offers is Thomas.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah. Which I love him for it, but man, that's time consuming.
Yeah, and it's something he'll figure out. We figured it out the hard way too.
I think since he uses Redfin to find a lot of his comps and his properties that he can then go and try and purchase, he scrolls down I think to the houses and like, okay, this one will sell for this. Okay, cool. All right, offer this.
Yeah.
He does that a lot.
It works.
It works.
Thomas gets deals.
He does. How many has he done now? Six?
That's a
5,
good question
6?
for Thomas. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. He's done a lot. He was just speaking at the event.
Yeah, he was our guest speaker
Man,
last night.
I love hearing him talk. He's definitely an inspiration.
Oh yeah, a lot of people were. We actually got a lot of emails from the thing last night.
Oh, really?
Which we don't usually get a whole lot
No.
of people like telling us how the event went. But we had a few emails come in this morning telling us how much they appreciated Thomas's story and everything that he was
Wow.
telling. So
How cool is that?
it's cool because I mean that's sort of what we wanted. We wanted somebody like Thomas to get up there and talk about his experience because he's persevered in this business,
100%.
sticking it out this whole time. So it's it was a good story he had to tell.
I think it was 2 years before he got his first deal.
Yep. Yeah, going to meetings and just doing what he could. So, but now
Just
he's
learning every single month, make an effort, and it just suddenly clicked. I think when he started coming to work with us at CRG, when you all were doing a bunch of flips, man, he just the light just ding.
Yep.
Light bulb just clicked.
Yep, and I remember he had like 3 deals with us in 1 month.
In 1 month.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
we rock and rolled on those, man. I'll tell you what.
I mean, I didn't get 3 deals in 1 month for quite a while into my career.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, same.
it was it was a good story. But anyway, yeah, we went on a long tear there about the investment club. So.
Well, I love the investment club, man. I mean, it's really it continues to help me build my business, help me build my network. I mean, it's all about who you know in this business and business in general. It's about who you know. Not all the time. It's about what you know.
Right.
Obviously, that's an ancillary thing, and it's quite important when you're discussing things. But really, it's your network that determines your net worth, and everybody says that.
They do say that.
Yeah. So,
but it's true.
It is.
You're only as rich as your 5 closest friends, or
Right.
something like that. There's a lot of these different sayings. It's because your close proximity with people that are successful. It's going to drive you to be successful and to do what you want to do.
Well, that and all the other opportunities that come from knowing other people that are really,
That's true, too.
Yeah, that make money. You're like, oh, well, they're doing all these things. Well, how can I fit this piece into that so that we can all do well together? And
Exactly.
100%.
Yeah, there was, I mean, if you work a regular 9-to-5 type job, you work in an office or something like that, you're going to have very limited exposure to investment opportunities from, your close friends.
Yeah.
Unless your close friends all happen to be real estate investors or something. But
Right.
the people at your office are going to be more talking about traditional type investments. These are going to be things like, mutual funds, and they're going to be talking about treasury notes and bonds, and they'll say maybe they got a good commodity trader or something. Maybe their stockbroker does some really good stuff. But that's what most people are exposed to.
Right.
And those are your more traditional type investments. But
And I like that. I still like those. Those are still good. I mean, those are stable things that for somewhat.
Yeah, well,
it just depends on time.
I remember this was back in 2011, and one of my old partners was he liked to play in the stock market a lot. He had a lot of money in there, so he was asking me one day. He's like, I'm just looking for that next great stock pick, and I'm like, invest in Netflix, And he was like, why would I invest in Netflix? They're shutting down they mail DVDs, and like with Hollywood Video shutting down and Blockbuster shutting down. Like, why would I want? I'm like, because they stream movies.
Yeah.
They stream movies on the internet. You can watch them
anytime you want,
and you can pick them up. That's why. And he didn't do it. He didn't invest.
Wow.
He told me 3 years later. He was like, I remember when he told me I should have invested in Netflix, and today, like a dog that eats its own vomit, I went and looked at what the stock price of Netflix was then versus now. And he's like, and I'm kicking myself very hard for that.
Did you invest in Netflix?
I didn't have any money to put in at that time.
Wow.
No, in 2011, I was cash poor.
Yeah.
So I had, we had some deals going. We were starting the hard money company back then with me and Jeff. So
building out your own portfolio a little bit there too.
Yeah, building out my own. I still had some rentals.
Yeah.
I still had a few rentals going on.
Why
at
did
that
you
point.
get out of the rental game?
Well, for me, I looked at a couple of things. I put together a spreadsheet of my rental properties, and I looked at how much equity I had in there.
Okay.
And I looked at how much cash we'd put in, and I looked at how much my return was. So I looked at one thing, the return on the capital, which is the money we had put in. I looked at my return there, and then I looked at the return on my equity. So I'm looking at this thing and I'm saying, okay, I have, at this time, and I'll just throw it out there, I had a few $100,000 in equity across these rental properties, and I'm looking at it and I'm saying, okay, I'm making about a 6% return on my equity right now, which,
It's not bad.
It's not bad, but with that money, I could do better.
Yeah.
With a few $100,000, I could put that out into notes. I could put that out into hard money loans. I could buy flips and things like that.
Yeah.
And
why didn't you refinance out, keep those rentals, and take that refinance money and put it into flips and other things?
It was something that had crossed my mind, but this was 2012 when I first came up with this idea.
Oh man, there's no way that was happening then.
Yeah, it was going to be tough to qualify because
Yeah.
I'm a self-employed person. It was going to be hard to get a loan.
No way.
And then on top of that,
Okay.
I wouldn't have gotten much out of it because
okay.
loan limits were still low at that
Right.
point. You had to get, it was going to be like 80% loan to value. No, because it was an investment property. It was going to be 70% loan to value.
Dang.
Leaving basically 30%, which is about where I was anyway. So
Yeah, so that doesn't even make sense to
didn't
do
make
that.
sense.
Okay. All right.
So I got out.
That's
and
a strategy that a lot of
Exactly.
people use.
So I got out and I sold them and then got into the hard money lending business, and we were able to put that out at a much higher return.
Absolutely.
Than 6%. So I just actually sat down with another investor from the group recently, and we did one of these analyses for him on all of his rental properties, and we came to a very similar conclusion, except his return on equity was like 2%.
Ooh.
So very low. He had a lot of money across all these properties, and I'm thinking, maybe it's time. Let's look at what your tax hit is going to be, because you're going to have to pay capital gains on all this stuff. And after the capital gains, I'm like, you could regain your loss and your capital gains within the next year or two. And then you're just going to skyrocket from there.
Yeah.
So, it was something we talked about. We'll have to revisit it and see what he wants to do.
I'd like to talk to this guy because one thing, we can either sell or finance out of those for him, or I know people that would take over and buy those properties from him, especially if they're performing.
Right.
And they've got good renters in them. I know tons of people that buy property with tenant in hand.
Will they buy at market price?
Well, that's the
tough one.
the caveat there, right?
That's where his seller carry might be a good thing to do.
Yeah, possibly, just depending on how much money he really wanted out in order to finance other things.
Exactly.
Yeah, but if you're buying a whole portfolio, it's a little easier to do that because you can give someone, say, $300,000, and then that $300,000 is spread out between all of those ancillary properties, and it makes it much easier for that person to continue to pay you that cash flow that you're really looking for.
True.
So, maybe there's a hybrid there.
There could be.
Maybe we can talk about that after.
We'll talk about it.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, I don't think he wants me giving out this information over the air.
No, I think that would be a bad idea. But
okay, fine, I'll give it to you. No, I'm just kidding. You talked me into it.
But
he would hate me.
I see. That's what gets me so excited about investing, is because of all the different things you can do to make money in this industry. It is insane.
And it's funny, and that's why listening to books from people that are investors that talk about things that they have done are so helpful, because it gets you to start thinking in other ways.
Yeah.
Like, how could I somehow get an investment going here? And I know Steve, he just started listening to a new book. It's like a seminar really that he's listening to on a CD.
Okay.
From this guy Buddy Zick, Barney Zick.
Okay.
And so he was telling me, like, after he's done with the CD, he's gonna. Actually, I don't think he is.
Okay.
But he told me after he was done with it, he's gonna give it to me. But he said he's been he's gotten so many amazing ideas from this guy. So whenever somebody like Steve tells me that I got to listen to something,
honestly, you got to listen.
I got to listen to it.
Steve is talk about genius up there, right up there.
Yeah, he's my original mentor in the business. Really. He did a flip, and I wanted to do a flip too. He just happened to jump in and actually started doing it.
Okay.
And I didn't know what I was doing, so he knew what he was doing and ended up buying this first deal, and it was a disaster. That thing had a lot of hair on it.
Yeah.
So he Yeah, he did this deal, and it was, for me, it was an inspiration to get into the business.
That's cool, man.
But when I started looking at properties, Steve would go with me, mostly for me anyway, because I didn't really know everything to look for.
Right.
And I had no basis or background in construction. So here's Steve. He shows up and, he can tell me, okay, this place needs new air conditioning. It's going to cost this much. It's going to need this. It's going to cost this much.
Oh, man, I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
That's
so
cool.
He helped me out, and
yeah, he's my original mentor along with you.
Exactly.
Well, really, you were my original mentor, and
That's
then
true.
Steven.
I remember.
Steven, no, well, I mean, you're the one that brought me into CRG and really convinced me to come over.
Yep.
So that was cool, man. And we spent almost 2 years together building out an awesome company. And
Yeah.
now you're moving into
Tiny homes.
Tiny homes, which
Yep.
is I remember sitting in your office and sitting with Steve and talking for 4 or 5 hours on multiple occasions just about tiny homes and what you guys could do with it. So I'm really excited to see.
Yeah, we're gonna be doing these things.
It's amazing.
We're calling it Back Porch Homes. These are
I
going to
love
be
that name.
Yeah, and it's a very cool business concept. We're going to start manufacturing here pretty soon.
Yeah.
Big business, very exciting thing for all the investors that are involved in that one too.
Absolutely.
And so we're kicking that off here.
So what kind of property management do you going to need on something like that?
Property management? You mean like for a lease that we're going to need to get? Is that what
Yeah.
you're talking about?
Yeah.
We need a space. We actually have a space picked out, but.
Have you already been talking to the broker?
Yeah, we talked to the agents, kind of
Okay,
listed.
perfect.
So yeah, we know how to use LoopNet.
Oh, dude, yeah.
Yeah.
No, I'm saying property management for all those deals to make sure that they're being handled correctly for you.
Oh, in-house servicing.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Smart man. Smart man.
No, we have a whole big old package put together.
Solid.
It's pretty amazing. But
I started reading your business plan. Very, very intricate. Very, very cool. And it was literally everything we talked about for the last, year and a half.
Yeah.
Which I know this has been a thought on your and Steven's mind even longer than that.
Well, it was tough because we have all this stuff in our heads, and like at some point you got to put this on paper, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you got to do a business plan. It's something that we've done for every business we've ever started.
Right.
It's actually kind of funny. Usually we do the business plan like a little ways into once we've started.
Yeah.
Like we're like, this is a great idea. Let's do it. This is how we've done it in the past, and we've had some issues come up because we didn't have a plan in place. So
Okay.
for the first time we've actually
and stuff.
Yeah, little kinks that we probably could have worked out before we started the company. So this time we did it right. We did the business plan ahead of time. We've already put together all kinds of facts and figures and costs and everything, and so we're doing it right this time. Because it was about time for us to grow up and actually start a business like a big boy. And
Well, I mean, here's the thing, right? And this is something that Steven says all the time. But you built a $1 million company, then you built a $10 million company, and now it's time to build a $50 million company.
no, $100 million.
Oh, $100 million now.
This
Okay.
one will be easily a $100 million company.
Solid.
Easily, yeah. It's going to be a big deal. So we're excited about that. More to come though. I'll talk more about it on the radio as things develop. But
Yeah, I know it's still in its infancy stages.
Yep.
You're trying to find a building and all that jazz.
not only that, but we're still working with the attorneys to get all the paperwork drafted. So
okay.
until we
so
have
we shouldn't be talking about this right now.
we can be. It's it's nothing. It's no secret. We told a ton of people that we're starting this company, but as far as the details go, I can't really divulge too much.
We're not getting into too many details on that.
Of course
I don't
not.
think.
No.
Okay.
I would stop us if if we got to that point.
Yeah, I think we're getting close.
We're getting close. I noticed this clock over here is broken.
It isn't completely broken.
Yeah, this one doesn't work because I don't think it's 7:30 right now.
No, but it's almost 5. There's an Inland Empire clock right there. Booyah.
Yeah, for the folks watching us live on the live stream on YouTube and so forth, we got clocks behind us from all over the country. New York, Chicago, and Denver. I don't know why do we have a Denver one up there?
Yeah,
Is there a
that's
reason for
interesting.
that?
No clue.
Yeah.
No clue.
Anyway, that's kind of the middle of the country, I guess. That's what time it is.
There you go.
So, anywho, yeah, we're getting close to the end here. We got about 5-6 minutes left.
Okay,
And then,
sweet.
We could talk about something for 5 minutes, 4 minutes, and then we'll talk about the club a little bit more because we got to make sure the people that have tuned in late to get to hear about this amazing thing.
So what's on besides Back Porch? What's on the agenda for you guys? Are you guys spending your whole focus on that? Are you guys still planning on doing joint ventures with flips and things like that? Like, what is your next steps on stuff?
Well, we had talked about continuing the joint venture program for flipping for members of the club.
Yeah.
Because it is a really beneficial thing. but for us, it's a real time issue.
Really big time issue.
And so, I know you and I talked about
that.
potentially heading that up and running it and everything. But as Steve and I have talked more and more about it, it's just not going to be a reality. We're not going to be able to do it.
Okay.
As much as we would like to, we want somebody in the club to step up and start taking over that sort of a thing. So I've mentioned it to a few of the people that are bigger players in the group and said, we need a joint venture program for the new people, and we need to build a sales funnel for you guys to get this information out to these people. And we're working on it. It's the club is a full-time job in and of itself, so it's tough to be able to get to everything.
Right.
But we'll hopefully have that launched with another group inside the club soon.
Would you make? Obviously, you would make money for providing the resources and leads.
Yeah, maybe the financing or something.
Would you sell off the CRG name, or is that something that's going to stay in?
We've talked about it. We've talked about potentially selling off Community Restoration Group, but how do you value a company that's not going to have any assets? Because once it's done, all we have is a name. And what's goodwill worth? That's a tough thing to evaluate, and it's it's worth whatever somebody's willing to pay for it.
Right.
But all it is just a name, and that's all we'd be able to deliver to them, because we're not going to be working for them.
No way.
Maybe our admin will stay on and work if they want, but that's up to them.
Yeah.
I think they're coming with us where we're going. So
I think that's a splendid idea for them.
Yeah, pretty good possibility. But we'll see what happens. I mean, we don't know. I actually did have somebody that asked me if we wanted to sell Community Restoration Group to them. And I said, well, it won't have any assets by the time we sell it. But if you want to buy it now with all the assets that are in it, all the flips that are currently in process, I mean, sure, I'll sell it to you.
Okay.
But it's got to make sense. I got to come out of it with some profit, obviously.
Well, yeah, obviously. Yeah.
But there's a good name there. I mean, it's a name that people recognize in the industry.
Oh,
so
totally.
It does have value just because of the name.
Okay.
So
you would you do seller finance on something like that?
Would we sell or finance Community Restoration? Maybe. I don't know. We might. Okay. There's probably a way to structure it. I think there's a way to do it. So anybody out there that might be interested, that might be something we would consider.
Interesting. Okay.
But
I'm always interested in what you're doing, Todd, because you always have like such an exciting thing that you do. I mean, it's so funny. You do so many exciting things in business, and you're such a family man on the other side too.
Yeah.
You get to do so many exciting things over here, and you have this really like risk stuff.
Oh,
and like exciting here, and then you have such a stable thing with your family. I love it.
Yeah.
And so it's inspiring me to it's inspiring to someone like me who wants to have a family but also wants to have a business that really is explosive, can go out there and make a lot of money and do some crazy cool things in investing.
Yeah.
And to see you do it is super cool. So I just wanted to tell you that.
Well, thank you.
I've always admired that. You and your relationship with your wife is
it's
wonderful. I love Megan and
it helps
and
that
your kids.
What helps that she's an amazing woman. She's a great partner,
mom.
Great mom,
Yeah.
Everything. She's an amazing wife. I love her to death.
Yeah.
So that's amazing. And then we have some awesome kids. They've done some pretty crazy things. They got her genes for a lot of stuff. They actually got my last name out of the deal. That was pretty cool. And that worked out. But I think they might have my bone structure. I don't know. We're going to find out. But
Parker does, absolutely.
So anywho, we are running quite short on time. So for one last time, we're going to mention the Inland Empire Real Estate Investment Club. For those of you folks out there that have always wanted to become a real estate investor and you just don't know where to start with the Inland Empire Real Estate Investment Club. We get together once a month at the Mission Inn. This is on the fourth Wednesday of every month, where we get together. All the big-time players in the area. We all talk about real estate investing. We're here to help. So we have a bunch of mentors in the room that are there to help you start your real estate career in any way that you want to go. You can find more information for that on meetup.com. Just look up the Inland Empire Real Estate Investment Club. We also have 2 other meetings per month, the cash flow game on the first Wednesday of the month, and we have the Saturday morning coffee event, which is on the Saturday before the fourth Wednesday of the month. Kind of confusing, but if you're on meetup.com, you can see the calendar. It's all there. So I want to thank Tyler for coming out.
Thank you.
From Formatic Properties Management. And we'll see you all again next week. Thank you all for tuning in. Take care, everyone.
Thanks.